Hello friends, welcome to Read With Me. We are continuing our pumpkin book series with Pumpkin Soup by Helen Cooper. That soup looks delicious. Have you ever tried pumpkin soup? I have, and pumpkin soup is yummy. If you haven't tried it, you should. Let's begin. Deep in the woods, there's an old white cabin with pumpkins in the garden. There's a good smell of soup, and at night, with luck, you might see a bagpiping cat through the window, and a squirrel with a banjo, and a small singing duck. Their cabin reminds me of an acorn. Look at the top. Pumpkin soup, the best you ever tasted. Made by the cat who slices up the pumpkin. Made by the squirrel who stirs in the water. Made by the duck who scoops up a pipkin of salt and tips in just enough. And here we see all of them working together to make their delicious soup. They slurp their soup and play their song, then pop off to bed in a quilt stitched together by the cat, embroidered by the squirrel, and filled with fine feathers from the duck. And it's peaceful in the old white cabin. Everyone has his own job to do. Everyone is happy. Or so it seems. Look, everyone's sleeping except for the duck. Wonder what that duck is lying awake thinking about. Uh-oh. But one morning, the duck woke up early. He tiptoed into the kitchen and smiled at the squirrel's special spoon. "Wouldn't it be fine," he murmured, "if I could be the head cook?" He drew up a stool, hopped on top, and reached until his beak just touched the tip of the spoon. Ker-plunk! Down it clattered. Then the duck trotted back to the bedroom, held up the spoon, and said, "Today it's my turn to stir the soup." Do you think the squirrel is going to be happy about the duck taking his job? I don't believe so. "That's mine!" squeaked the squirrel. "Stirring is my job. You give that back." "You're much too small," snapped the cat. "We'll cook the way we always have." But the duck held on tight until the squirrel tugged with all his might. And whoops! The spoon spun through the air and bopped the cat on the head. Then there was trouble. A horrible squabble, a row, a racket, a rumpus in the old white cabin. Look, they're all fighting and angry. Uh-oh. I wonder how they're going to resolve this problem. "I'm not staying here," wailed the duck. "You never let me help with anything." And he packed up a wheelbarrow, put on his hat, and waddled away. "You'll be back," stormed the cat, "after we've cleaned up." And the squirrel shook his spoon in the air. But the duck didn't come back. Not for breakfast, not even for lunch. "I'll find him," scoffed the cat. "He'll be hiding outside." Do you think they'll find the duck that easily? I doubt it. The duck was awfully upset. "I'll bet he's in the pumpkin patch." But the duck was not in the pumpkin patch. They could not find him anywhere. Oh no, their friend is missing. So they waited all that long afternoon. I think they're becoming worried about their friend. I would be worried about my friend if I got in an argument and they didn't come back. The cat watched the door. The squirrel paced the floor. "That duck will be sorry when he comes home," they muttered. But the duck didn't come home, not even at soup time. And look, they don't know how to make the soup because they don't know how much salt to add. And oh no, they're pouring in the whole container. That will be not tasty. Look, here they are. They're sad. There's no duck at the chair. The soup wasn't tasty. They'd made it too salty. They didn't feel hungry anyway. They both sobbed over supper, and their tears dripped into the soup and made it even saltier. "We should have let him stir the soup," sniffled the squirrel. "He was only trying to help," wept the cat. "Let's go out and look for him." Do you think they'll find him? The cat and the squirrel were scared as they wandered down the path in the dark, dark woods. They feared for the duck all alone, with the trees and the foxes and the wolves and the witches and the bears. But they couldn't find him. They're imagining him with all of these creatures out there and him all by himself. On and on they trudged until they reached the edge of a steep, steep cliff. "Maybe he fell down that!" wailed the cat. "I think he fell over this cliff. Oh no." "I'll save him!" squeaked the squirrel, and he scrambled down a long, shaky rope. He searched all around on the ground, but couldn't find the duck. Well, at least the duck didn't fall over the cliff, but I wonder where the duck is. Then the cat whispered in a sad little voice, "Duck might have found some better friends." "He might," sighed the squirrel. "Friends who let him help." And the more they thought about it as they plodded back, the more they were sure that they were right. Look, they think he opened up a soup restaurant, and he has lots of friends to come eat the soup. Do you think Duck did that? I doubt it. But when they were almost home, they saw a light shining from the old white cabin. "It's Duck!" they shrieked as they burst through the door. Look, Duck is home, and Duck has been sitting here on the chair crying. And Duck was so happy to see them. Look, they're all making up. That's a good thing to do, say you're sorry when you've had an argument. He was also very hungry, and though it was late, they thought they would all make, what are they going to make? Some pumpkin soup! And look, they let Duck do the stirring. Do you think Duck is a good stirrer? Not really. The soup is going all over their cabin. When the duck stirred, the cat and the squirrel didn't say a word. Not even when the duck stirred the soup so fast that it slopped right out of the pot. Not even when the pot got burnt. Look, they had to use the fire extinguisher to put out the fire that Duck caused. Then the duck showed the squirrel how to measure out the salt, and the soup was still the best you ever tasted. So once again, it was peaceful in the old white cabin, until the duck said, "I think I'll play the bagpipes now." Do you think the cat is going to like that? I doubt it. Do you think it will end up in another argument? It does. I hope they resolve this problem as well. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. Until next time.